So it has been Men's Mental Health Month for some time. This shouldn't be a sign to make things aware, make you or anyone aware of your mental health, men's mental health in general. Let's start by talking about breaking the stigma. In my culture, Caribbean culture, mental health is non-existent. Out the window for everybody. In fact, not only men, but men are actually the group that tend to ignore their mental health more than women. If you understand what I'm saying, they are the ones to quickly let themselves go, screw up everything, their lives, family lives, in general. So, one of the main things to focus on here is addressing disparities. Listen, there are a lot of signs. There are a lot of signs. We all know there are a lot of signs. Acceptance is a very hard thing for men. Um, in this case, you need to educate yourself about a lot of things. There is no shame in having mental health issues, all right? You need to address your mental health on a daily basis, and sometimes it may not be that bad. Some people are not that bad. Educate yourself, build a support system around you. Some people may have a hard life. Listen, nobody have an easier life. You see, wherever you see on social media here, I know men be on social media all day, most of them. So wherever you see here and you're comparing yourself to them, may also be triggering to you. I may not have the perfect marriage like this person, or I may not have this nice car like all these cars you're watching. Anything can trigger off your mental health and, contribute to a lot of tragedies. You need to heal from things. Like, sit down, give it some time, think about it, not a lot of us are educated about things like these, which is such a pity, to be honest, because we judge people for lots of things, you understand? And from that person perspective, they would feel ashamed. They wouldn't want to, they would be like, oh, well, them just don't like me because I just say this and I just do that. But at the end of the day, that person may be fighting something like real rough. That person maybe have a rough time getting through his day. So we just need to be here as a support system. Like, some people really not worth supporting. I'll be honest with you. Some people really not worth supporting. And I always say, if somebody don't want to help themselves, like, why help them? But at the end of the day, I am a person that would still put my best foot forward to help somebody struggling with mental health, because at the end of the day, that is basically like you fighting with you understand what I'm saying? And as much as that person might be, yeah, dog, are you okay, are you alright, as long as they saying and you see like they're not okay but they saying they're okay, that is when somebody needs to step in and say, listen, well, this is in your diet, your health, your wealth. Set realistic goals too, because stress has a lot to do with this sleeping schedule. I myself have a bad sleeping schedule, but that's something I've also been working on. Back to setting realistic goals. Like, do not expect a lot from yourself. Listen, there's so much we can do as a human being. There is so much we can do. Trust me. I've seen Superman and Superwoman, but listen, we are just human beings. You need to set realistic goals, like things you can achieve in a timely manner, and just stick with that. When you complete that, you're gonna start something else, you're gonna get it done. Like, listen, wake up every day and be here mentally and physically, right? And don't just do it for you, do it for your family, do it for your friends. I've seen a lot of people battling with mental health and think, this is just about them. Like, no, listen, okay? This is not always about you. This is not always about you. Imagine something happens to you. This will affect your family, like your family, your friends, the people around you. Like, people need to think about things before they even act, right? That is very important. Always think about something before you put your... One of the hardest things is reaching out for help. It's talking about your situation. Most of the time, if you are not strong-minded, you need to do it. Seek professional help. You don't want to tell your family, you don't want to tell your friends, hey, listen, there may be free resources. Reach out to that. Just somebody to talk, might save your life, might save somebody's life. Just saying. Just somebody to talk, get stuff out of your mind, might save a lot of things. So definitely reach out for help. Professionally, a friend, somebody. Do yourself. Take each day as it go. Listen, You have a purpose. You wouldn't be here and be waking up every day, just to do the bare minimum in your life. Like, be here, love your life, um, try to figure it out. Don't try to figure out everything at once. That's the part where you lose your mind. There are simple things that you can do to address your mental health. A lot of men have anger issues too. That is a whole different topic. Right? I don't want to get too personal, but you need to admit, this is the thing. You need to be aware of your situation in order for you to get help, in order for the quality of your life to be improved. Um, Definitely, I think the bad habits, like I spoke about, drinking alcohol, drugs, smoking, a lot of stuff like that, needs to be addressed. But I just want to say, like, listen, somebody will always be here for you. May not be your girlfriend, may not be your family, because sometimes, like I said, some men really, really do some bad things, and people really don't want to support them. But that don't mean that they shouldn't be helped. I mean, people might come at me for saying that, like, let's use it for example. There was this guy in Trinidad that killed his mom or something like that, but I sure they saw signs of this guy's mental health. You can't tell me you living with your son for like 30 something years and you didn't see that he was mental, right? You or the family had to wait for this guy to end up in such a bad situation to kill his mother. And at the end of the day, I don't blame him. You understand? I don't blame him, because he needed help. He was not right in his mind, right? He must have realized after, what he did, and maybe was devastated, of course. But this is how mental health works. Duchess Dior was, they say that she was murdered live on the husband life. Something like this was happening. They were going back and forth, argument for who was having affair, where, when, how. And I think they said like some of her friends was on that live, and he was threatening her. Like, if you say anything again on my life, you wouldn't make it out that door alive or something like that. And he did. He did end up killing her and himself. Why did he kill himself? Why he kill himself? That's the question. Why did you kill yourself if you know that you were not mentally ill or you did the right thing? Clearly, he knew exactly what he was doing. These people are just battling demons with themselves, and it needs to be addressed. So, like I said, this is not only Men's Mental Health Month, but this is something that should be addressed every single day, every minute of the day. Someone that's having a hard time, like, just try to get into the loop of, I wouldn't say helping, because let me tell you something. Trying to help mentally ill people takes so much out of your cup. It takes everything from your cup. Your cup about to be empty, right? This is all I have to say. Your cup about to be empty. But pour a little bit into them. Might make a difference in their life, Some people are very strong-minded. Don't let themselves go. Kudos to you. Focus on your mental health. Focus on being here mentally and physically. Take care of your well-being. But for the others that have no self-control, anger issues, brain fog, confused half of the time, don't know what they do, when they do, how they do, and then devastated after, like, needs to be addressed as soon as possible. There are no band-aids for this. There are no band-aids. You could run, you could go Toko and come back, but you can't run and hide. You can never run and hide from your mental illness. You cannot. So men, please be here mentally and physically. Take care of your well-being. Always think about things, thoroughly before you act. Like, this is a sign to, care for yourself and just enjoy life, the life that you was given.